call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court. This morning, Commissioner White.
Thank you, Judge. Pray with me, please. Pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to come together this morning. Do the business of the Wichita County, Father. We ask that you guide us and direct us and let your hand be with us, Father. We thank you so very much for the recent rain. Ask for more, Father. Ask for more, Father. Our land is dry. We know that dry and heal our land. We just thank you so much for all the many blessings that you bestow on us every day. Father, be with us. Father, protect this county. Keep us safe. Keep us safe. County family, Father, around the world, protecting our freedoms in this great country. Father, forgive us of our sins where we fall short. All these things I pray in Jesus' precious name.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic stand for which it stands, nation, one nation, indivisible, and justice for all.
And now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. The Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to thee, one state, one God, under God, and indivisible.
All right, everyone, you may be seated. Unless you are Captain Price and Captain Patterson. Going to ask both of y'all to come up. So Corporal Joseph Price is the Wichita County employee of the month for April 2023. Did you want to say anything about this?
So Corporal Placer for about 2.5 years. After just 11 months, he was promoted to corporal. Since he's been a corporal, he completely started the ARC program through Wichita County for inmates. He did that completely on his own. So actually, I think it was February, the inmates' drawings and stuff were done through what is it called? The Art Council. So he's pretty amazing.
Cool, neat program.
It's a very cool program.
Yeah, we were doing a kind of a place in the courthouse down on the first floor where we can hang some of that.
Yeah.
We want to have a rotating spot to put artwork up.
So we have it in the jail, we have a top 5.
Okay.
So, and that's something we can move over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like last month was Easter, and I believe we had quite a few good ones. And this month, I think I'm gonna do Marvel, so they can do Marvel characters.
Wow.
I'll make you a spot. Just tell me what you need.
Okay.
We'll make a spot and put the best one for your
Right.
courthouse for everyone to see.
It's just fantastic.
Well, I know it was in the news yesterday. Law enforcement always on the job and always needed, and thankfully Wichita County is a place where we appreciate and show our appreciation for law enforcement. But still, the job that all of you do, whether it's detention or patrol, man, where would we be without y'all? So just want to thank you for doing a great job. I think it says a lot to be voted in as the employee of the month, and just want to thank you for serving your community. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I'll give this plaque to you.
All right.
Keep it in the plastic so it doesn't.
Right.
Then we'll take pictures.
All right.
Yeah.
One more. Thanks.
Congratulations. Thank you. All right, do we have any other presentations? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, it is 10:04, and we will move on to public comment. As a reminder, we ask that you keep your comments to under 5 minutes, and any comments that come up, no action can be taken by the court. So at this time, do we have any public comments? No one on Zoom?
I believe we had the Wichita Christian Pan Band scheduled for this Friday at the courthouse lawn, so
What time, do you know?
Noon, I believe.
On Friday.
I never got Wichita Christian band, the Caribbean band that we had at Christmas time.
You know, the only problem with that is you get that island feeling.
I know,
and then
that's
you
why we're
wanna-
having it
yeah.
outside at lunchtime.
You begin to think about vacations and laying on the beach, so anyway, that's, they're really good.
Will it be a special Cinco de Mayo
Yeah.
themed concert?
Yes, why not?
Sure,
Yeah.
okay.
Mexico's in the Caribbean, so.
Yeah, that's right. Well, good deal. Anyone else? Public comment? I've got one with all of the commissioners being gone most of last week to Texas Association of Counties Conference. I sure did get a lot done.
What are you insinuating?
It's good to have y'all back. Y'all were missed. All right, then at this time it is 10:05 and public comment is closed. We will move on to the consent agenda. Does anyone have any questions on any items on the consent?
I do, Judge. Item number 2, I wasn't quite sure, I didn't have a detailed backup on it.
Cheryl, can you speak to that one? This is the 10,216.
Oh, yes, so it is the reserve for self-insurance, and we did not budget for it in the 23 budget, but during the move, there was some missing money in one of the clerk's offices, and so we need to reimburse the county and the state funds that those fees were from the reserve for self-insurance, so. This
But-
10,000 is just to get us through the rest of the year in case anything else happens, since we didn't budget for it.
But aren't we sitting on like 2.9 million there?
Yeah, we have to be able to budget to use it though, so this is still.
Oh, we didn't budget anything.
We
didn't
is
budget
what you
anything.
said. I see.
So this is to budget for the use of it, so we can use it as necessary. Yeah, there's actually like 4 million in there. but yeah.
Okay.
You said something just then that maybe I didn't hear it right. You said in the move, there was some missing money.
Yes,
What does that mean?
they took in money and the cash could not be located at the end of the day when they went to balance their drawer,
In which office?
the district clerk's office.
Okay, that's what
The register was not, to my understanding, the register was not left attended well. There was a lot of chaos going on, obviously, in the short of the move. They left the drawer, the key in the drawer. So we're not really sure where the cash went, and it may appear at some point, but the money is due to loss of state funds, and so we gotta.
Okay. Thank you.
And so I was just misunderstanding. I thought we were moving 10,000.
No.
We're just budgeting
We're just
what's
budgeting so we can
inside
use
there.
it. Mhm, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We haven't used that fund in a really long time, so it just escaped us to budget for it.
Yeah, it's a note for the next
For
one.
24, you bet.
Judge, on item A, the wheelchairs, one for the courthouse, one for the annex, which sounds like a really good idea. We had this discussion several years ago, and we were told that the liability was too great for us to do that. Has something changed, or?
We had an incident last week where we had to carry someone down the elevator and
Yeah.
carry them out to the car.
Oh, and it seemed like a good idea to me when we talked about it before, but I was just curious that was why we didn't move forward.
I don't
And
know which would
just-
have more liability problems, physically trying to carry someone out
Oh, I
that can't
agree.
walk, or putting them in a wheelchair and.
Because not everything requires an ambulance.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have a mobility issue, like if, we'll use my building for example, if they had to use the back elevator and you had
Yeah.
somebody with mobility issues, how are we gonna get them to the back elevator?
Well, and I guess my question is since that's the way that went, I was just curious, have we missed something, or was that just an
Maybe
No, it's a-
interpretation?
we might need to follow up
That's a
with that.
follow-up item.
I doubt anything's changed, like liability-wise,
Yeah.
on the.
Oh, I think it's a good idea.
Anytime you're taking somebody into your care in that way, you're
Okay.
risking, I mean, there's always a risk.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you're
Oh, I
in the
agree.
wrong place or something like that, so.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we weren't overlooking
Sure.
something that.
No, I'm glad you brought that up,
Yeah,
Commissioner.
anyway, that's great. I think it's a good idea. It makes sense.
Yeah, no, we can locate a wheelchair anywhere in this.
Yeah, I can't imagine, we'll certainly ask that, I'm glad you brought it up, but I can't imagine liability would be less if we just gonna leave somebody, but I mean,
That was the discussion though. and
Yeah.
We
Well,
talked.
if they're refusing an ambulance and they're pretty much immobile, they're still our problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have a
Don't
issue
follow.
on number 6.
okay.
Need to scratch out pickup, and that's a 3,500 crew cab and chassis with dump bed truck, like that.
Patching truck.
Yes.
So 6 should read, motion to advertise for 3,500 crew cab and chassis with dump bed truck for precinct 2.
Yes.
Okay. Did you get that, Nancy?
Motion to approve with the noted changes.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Buchanan. Do we have any public comment on the consent agenda? Okay, the motion has been made. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to general business. Item number 1, review and approve the regular bills for payment and order county treasurer to disperse payroll and bill payments within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, or electronically unless directed otherwise, or may be picked up and ledgered in the treasurer's office.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Buchanan, seconded by Commissioner Mahler. Do we have any public comment on this item? All right, the motion has been made. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2, discuss, consider, and/or take action to award bids for road materials for the period of May through October 2023. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the only competitive bids were for emulsions.
Yes, and
That's right.
Judge,
One man, one rock.
I would like to inject that we only do the emulsions. It's not untypical, I guess, on the hauling. We typically only had one when that need arose, but we do need to get some, we need to rebid this chip and rock. I got a DeLisi price list this morning. There's a tremendous difference in that pricing. And I don't know what's driving that, if they think, you know, I don't know.
You say a tremendous price.
Yeah, there's
Between
$10 a ton difference.
We used to not even pay $10 a ton.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now
It was
we're looking at
$8 a ton.
stuff up over $20, 25 and 28. I mean, I could get this hauler to go down there and with his pricing and buy it for 19. Makes 0 sense.
Well, I think they don't want to commit to the long-term bid period. I think that's what the drawback is. I mean, you know, they'll spot price you day by day,
Yeah.
but they don't want to get tied up for 6 months, or that's why.
And how does that, I
Well,
mean,
but like any other product, all they have to do is give us notification and that they're doing a price increase, and
Right.
we have an option to accept it or reject it, and rebid.
Because this, I mean, the Burkett quote now is prices are subject to escalation after the first month, the one that
Yeah,
they
they're all-
submitted.
yeah, well, I take it as they really don't want us buying chip from them. That's what I see. And they don't, the reason is that they can sell all they can do to the state, and it's, and vendors for the state, and so we're getting pushed out bad.
But
But
can you mail it, if you've gone out for bids and you don't have a competitive bid, you've only got one supplier, can you buy on the local daily spot price? Yeah, because, I mean, that's what this is, you know, they're willing to quote that, but they're not gonna do a 6-month commitment, because they probably obviously think their cost structure's gonna go up. I mean, I kinda understand, but it puts us in a,
If they have bid competitively to, say, the state of Oklahoma, can we piggyback off of their bid, since it's a competitive bid to a governmental agency?
No, I think that.
Has to be
they
Texas?
do it to us. Well, I mean, I think it has to be.
It has to be our bid.
They
We
can-
could, we could get a daily quote.
Yeah, oh yeah. And which hasn't been a big issue. I mean, they, probably if we got a daily quote off of this, it'd probably be different. But just bear in mind that they're also saying by that I may not have it if you come.
When I was at the city, I used to piggyback off of Fort Worth bids and Carrollton's because they bought much more bulk than I was able to. You know,
But did the city have a agreed?
they may have. I know I just used I would call City of Fort Worth and say, what's your bid price on item X? And I would turn it in as a purchase off of the Fort Worth purchase agreement, so.
Is there a buy board price?
I mean, you're,
Anywhere?
that's a hundred.
I defer to Cheryl and Mel.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
$132
looking at
a
$262
load.
now.
We're,
Difference, just on
I mean, right now, we're in good shape and we're okay. This other rock, the 1 inch and stuff like that, that comes up from time to time and even maybe some riprap and stuff. But as far as our chip goes, our 3/8 and 5/8, we're in
set till
good
fall.
shape.
Yeah, we're
till
set till
fall.
fall, so pretty much unless something unexpected happens. We're running out of rock.
But that does, if they got 1 inch for $9.50 and they're charging us 25 for 3/8, that just shows that they don't want us to,
No.
they do not want to lock in. Because the cost of their two is not that much difference. Maybe $1
Well,
difference.
you
Run
don't
it
want
back
to,
through.
you don't want to lock in prices if you're a supplier in an
So we need to
inflationary economy.
restructure our RFQ, our RFP.
But what about, Mel, the specific, so all combined today, chip-wise, we will exceed 50,000. But if we're talking about like for the rest of this year, just individual purchases of 1 inch or something like that, maybe a little riprap from, we won't get close to that at all. Can we itemize and be okay?
You can't like split up your stuff to try to avoid the $50,000 threshold. I know you can't do that. You gotta be careful trying in any way that might look like that or be
Right.
that. I mean, that's what I'd be
Right.
worried about.
There are some exemptions that we can possibly do with that. The court can do some things that will exempt you from the 50,000, but it has to be, like, there's not really any other choice, like, there's only one vendor. There are some exemptions to the 262 rules,
Okay.
but,
I think one of them's like an emergency or something
Well,
like that,
yes.
which I don't know that we.
but the court can deem it, say that they're going to do an exception, but I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work
Yeah.
on that, actual verbiage on that.
And what we can do is not take action on that specific one. Give a week for everybody.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Figure it out and
Well, and did where was our best delivered on the emulsions?
so the way I have it, Ergon had the best for CRS2, SS1, and FOG. P2 had the best on Prime at delivery.
Okay.
And then secondary for Prime was Ergon. Secondary for CRS2 would be Wright Asphalt. Secondary for CSS1 would be P2. And then secondary for FOG would be Wright.
Make that motion that we approve those primary and secondary vendors as stated.
On the emulsions and
the
the hot
emulsions.
lay and cold lay
We do,
Where's the coal lay out of?
at Zach Burkett?
See, and we had trouble before getting coal lay from Zach Burkett. Are we gonna have to go to Graham to get it? Or do you know?
It's
It
not,
doesn't say.
it's not consistently available.
Because they don't have it consistently available here, so we can, We can drive to Lawton usually and get it, but what was do we not have a bid from Lawton?
They call it
From
one
Delisi?
bidder.
No, we did not.
Is that Delisi, Mick, or who is that from when you go to law?
I believe I have an invoice here that just came in. Let me look. I thought it was Delisi. Do you know offhand, Cheryl?
I don't know offhand.
Let's see if this is it.
Well, from a time standpoint, the emulsions are much more significant right now than the rock, because we're gonna run some here in the next 30 days. And
Well-
we've got a rock supply, we could,
Let's, if we could just do the emulsions, and, Mark, would you consider amending to accept the hauling?
Yeah, from Randy Chapman.
I'm sorry.
No, the emulsions, they're gonna haul.
Each category separately.
Oh, okay. And then we can bid, maybe twist the arm of the Lawton group to consider, we visited in depth with the culvert guy down there at the school, and they had no interest whatsoever to give us pricing.
It really makes it difficult for us to do what we need to do when they won't give us bids.
Yeah.
I'd like to hold off on that cold.
well, we're about to go into a budget.
Just do the
season, and,
emulsions. Because right
You
now,
know,
we're still
how do
buying
you-
cold lay for patching, for getting ready to chip seal. So
So right now,
we're still in line right now. We don't need to change that cold lay right this second. I'd say put it off with the chip seal. No action on that.
so we've got emulsions. What about crushed concrete?
We can approve crushed concrete.
Fresh concrete from Big City
Yeah,
Okay, they were the only bidders, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
and hauling from Randy Catlin. I'd amend my motion to include those two items.
I'll second.
Y'all had any luck hauling hot mix on a belly dump? Guess we had to go to Lawton.
Why wouldn't it work, Barry?
You'd string it out and reload it.
You'd
That's what I anticipate.
You'd have to. You'd have to unload it on asphalt,
You had to string it out.
but you'd have to unload it on
Well, we
clean
saw-
asphalt.
Well, yeah.
They were doing that when we were going to Lubbock, weren't they?
Yeah, but they had a belly dump.
Yeah,
had a
they
belly
were
dump pickup
windrow it
machine.
and then using,
Windrow it.
yeah, then they used the.
That machine has a conveyor
Yeah.
that picks it right up off the asphalt. But
So I'll second that motion on
Yeah.
those three.
Oh,
Alright.
it's already.
Oh, okay.
So Commissioner Beecham made the motion to accept the bids for emulsions. Primary is Ergon on CRS 2, SS 1, and FOG. And P2 is the primary for Prime. And then secondary, right, is the secondary for CRS 2 and FOG, and P2 is the secondary for CSS 1, and Ergon is the secondary for Prime. And then the motion also included accepting the bid from Big City Crushed Concrete and accepting the bid for hauling from Randy Catlin. So that motion was by Commissioner Beecham and seconded by Commissioner Quintana. Do we have any questions or public comment? Okay, the motion has been made. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
And our current hot mix and cold lay are still in effect. are they not?
Yeah. And we
We're
will,
good there.
Can we, if Nancy was able to get these bids come in, we can bid for 12 calendar months, right? Okay, because that would carry us through if we could get, but we may not want to, but I don't see anything changing. These prices have just went through the roof.
yeah.
I'm almost thinking long-term would be more difficult than short because the inflationary deal is what's driving it.
Mhm.
they don't lock into anything anyway, though.
Yeah, it's-
They turn in a bid and some of them say it effective 2 weeks. I mean.
Right.
You're still on the spot, you're still on the spot price.
That's why that we
basically.
may need to look at our RFP, how it goes out, that we change our language to give them more flexibility.
We're almost gonna have to get to a point where we go with check spot price of vendors throughout this week and see who has the best price, and we go with that.
Or we shorten the bid length.
You know,
Yeah.
To give
years,
them more security, to only doing a 2 or a 3 month bid.
years ago, we tried some synthetic rock, as strange as that sounds. And, that may be where,
You're good.
we may be headed to the time we have to relook at that. It was like a ceramic. It was interesting, well, not, but it was higher.
So right now, we're.
What are you gonna do?
Well,
But it was
We're paying
available.
3 times as much right now as we were when I started on
well,
this.
yeah,
Right.
no, and that's short
That's
stint.
not very long.
But you know, Barry, Mickey, told me to pay attention on that. I was real high on the job at 367, the chip seal rock, and which was not synthetic, but the coated rock.
coated.
The coated
Yeah.
rock.
But it has turned loose.
Yeah.
It has turned loose terribly. And
I mean, it looked real pretty for
a little
4
while.
months, and now it's coming apart. So,
See, that traditionally always was a better bind with that.
Right,
that
that's what I
pre-treatment and all. So, I don't know.
All right, moving to item number 3, discuss, consider, and/or take action to award bids for vending services.
Now we're getting to it. Now,
So just some I'll go through some highlights, Jeff, or do you want to ask a
okay,
question?
no, go right ahead.
So the Cantu bid commission is 19% for every product sold. The canteen commission varies anywhere from 18.5% on some items, 0% on some items, to 25% on some items. So it's kind of, you can see that in your document. And looking at that and just doing the basic math on it, Canteen was better on 7 of the product categories, what the commission would be to the county. And then Cantu was better on 8 of the product categories.
And, Judge, one of the things that we ran into, and I got quite an education, is that we understood what our current vendor was proposing, but that wasn't the case in the machines. We found 4 different prices for the same chewing gum, and just as an example, but we were interested in maybe having, we're in some instances running 2 machines because they have product-specific machines that can't hold. Cantu is just a lot larger, more sophisticated group of vending, plus they can bring us some true lunchtime items that people that want to get a snack for lunch instead of leaving can do. And so it would be my motion that we go with Cantu.
second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Watts and seconded by Commissioner Buchanan to accept the bid from Cantu.
And just for everybody's clarity, at Lisa's guys at Aramark took us to Cantu, and that's how we come by them after they wanted a little time to investigate and do some stuff. They got back, had a meeting with Nancy and I about some of the things to be concerned or watch for and do. That was very helpful, but, so I just want to interject that they were very helpful.
And remind me, Nancy, does this one run through the end of the calendar year or through May of next year?
It will run through the end of December,
Okay.
because we originally went.
Oh, that's
out
right.
In January, but, whatever you like, end of the year or May.
No, I mean, whatever was in the RFP needs to be what we do. I just couldn't remember what was in the RFP. Okay, the motion has been made for Cantu. Do we have any public comment or questions on this one? Got the
So,
action.
Currently, inside the detention center, we have a vending machine through Canteen. Is that gonna be replaced with the Canteen? Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yeah. Any other questions or comment? Okay. The motion before us is to accept the bid from Cantu. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 4, discuss, consider, and/or take action to approve Trinity quote for quarterly air filter service and preventative maintenance at the LEC for a cost of $5,800 to be paid from Department 511 budget lines determined by the county auditor.
We did get slightly more information, but not enough to be totally comfortable. So staff recommendation to me this morning was to approve this for 1 quarter. It is $5,800 a quarter. That would give us 1 quarter to review, to see that the quality of the filters are what we expect, and also to see what the frequency of the filter change needs to be in some of the units. So
And that was labor and material?
that is labor. It's $1,000 for labor and the rest is material cost. Which, visiting with Ricky, that's a good cost, a good price for the filters. That's,
But
we
we
really
do-
want to, we really want to check the quality of it.
Sure.
And we do think that that's going to be roughly a $25,000 expense annually for,
Yeah, based on this.
Yeah, based on this.
But that's, again, why we want to assess it after a quarter to see if what the frequency of change needs to be on some of the units, so.
Yeah, I think
That's your
that's,
motion?
Yep, that would be our motion to approve this for 1 quarter only.
I'll second.
I think that's a good idea. All right, so the motion is to approve the Trinity quote for 1 quarter for air filter service and preventive maintenance at the LEC for a cost of $5,800. Do we have any public comment or questions on that item?
And to put that in perspective, that's over 500 filters.
Yes.
So
It's a lot of filters.
That's a lot of filters.
Since we're into the second quarter, how will this run? From May through?
Well, we're way behind on getting these
Yeah.
done, so.
I'd say let's run it through the end of June and then we can evaluate.
but the sooner they can pull the trigger and change, I guess.
Yeah, we
the
need,
better.
Yes,
we need,
yeah,
we need to
absolutely.
get it done.
Yeah.
That's, well, we can't wait around for more information. We need to
Right.
go ahead and get it done.
Okay. Any other comment, questions?
Am I good to go ahead and have our maintenance guys contact Trinity to have them schedule to come out and get that done? Or is
Okay.
that-
As
Yeah,
of-
that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as we adjourn, yes. All right, the motion has been made by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. And then finally, item number 5, receive update on courthouse renovation, elevator projects in county courthouse annex. Commissioner
A
Beecham?
lot going on. We're still on target to have the elevator inspection next Monday. So while we will not have the exterior walls completed as far as being decorated, the tile and stuff back on the exterior walls, we should be able to start using the elevators mid next week.
You hear that quiet cheer erupting around there?
No,
Don't jinx it.
I'm not gonna,
jinx it.
yeah, we should, I said should, I didn't say shall. I said should. We should be able to use the elevators. And the plan is to go ahead and have at least one of them operational while we're doing the tile work, et cetera, around them, so.
They're gonna do the inspection on both, but then they're gonna,
Then we have to do the exterior
Alternate.
tile and all that one. So that's the best news. And hopefully next Monday will go well and we can get those back in operation. I know everyone will have a big sigh of relief when we have something complete. Maybe.
you didn't have any gray hair before the elevators, right?
No. I had long flowing, beautiful hair. Now I'm bald. Annex is looking good. If you haven't driven by, they've got most of the scaffolding down. They've got most of the EFS work done. We've got canopies left to go outside and the electrical lighting, et cetera. But it looks really good. So
Mark, did you see the sign at the Cotton, the corner sign?
No, I didn't make it.
I wondered how ours was relatively, what's the height top to bottom on
I
ours?
don't recall.
I didn't either, and I just wondered if it looked, because it was real cool. They had theirs in the corner too. and-
Yeah. No, I don't recall the height on it, yeah. Abatement, the permit was over this weekend. I have not checked with the abatement company to see if they completed all the work at the annex.
I don't know,
They
it's still
were-
all blocked off and sealed,
Yeah,
so.
the permit's over, so I didn't see an email that they've asked for an extension, so I'm sure we're just tearing down the containment at this point. As far as the courthouse is concerned, the rest of the work, we sent over the electrical drawings to the city late last Thursday. We're awaiting their approval, before we can finish the electrical work. They've started, but it has to be approved before we can put sheet rock and et cetera up in the temporary courtroom. Should get Danielle's folks back in today or tomorrow. They're putting in ceiling tiles, and that's the last step to get them back in. And we're steadily working on drawings for the new 30th.
Okay,
A lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going
A lot of
on.
stuff.
all right, any questions? Public comment on that item? Okay, well, it is 10:36 and court